Hey everybody, it's Rob here. We just got a big data mine from the PTR and a lot of new things have come to light, such as a new Spiritborn Mythic uniques here with up to plus 28 ranks to all skills. Wowhead here and various other sources have all the information. With all the new Mythic uniques, we also have new uniques. We have the Spiritborn Paragon nodes. We have the updated Paragons here. For every class, we finally know, how these boards actually look like and how the skill tree looks like. Where, for example, the weapon throw and the mighty throw is located. There's been a lot of structural changes to the entire skill tree, basically, of every class here. Sorcerer, Barb. We also have the Paragon nodes, as well as some new boards and new glyphs here, all in this data mine. So big shout out here, in particular to Wowhead, which we're gonna go over here right now. I'm gonna link those articles below. So you can see here, like, all the Uber uniques basically have received a rework. The DPS has been lowered and the armory has been lowered. Here, this is, for example, the new Harlequin's Crest. And it doesn't have, like thousands and thousands of armor anymore. This is the current one, so big armor, 3000 armor and another 1000 on the base. And the new one here, quote unquote, only has 100 plus 300 armor. But keep in mind that the new armor cap is only 1000 and the Shaco is basically almost getting you halfway there if you masterwork it. And yeah, you can look at all these through your own. Like, there's this new Mythic glaive here that we're going to talk about a bit more. Starless Sky. Grandfather has also had its max life reduced. Tyrell's Might has its armor reduced. And we also have updates to various of the existing uniques. And there's been a lot of buffs here. For example, Ancient's Oath, Barbarian Weapon here gets more cooldown. And just a bunch of changes. We also have all the new Spiritborn uniques in this data mine. Obviously, take this with a grain of salt, guys. They have been wrong before. But it looks like this is what is in the game files of the PTR that you can, by the way, download and play next week here on the Battle.net launcher if you have a PC version. So you can already download this and check it out then on Wednesday next week when it's finally launching. And you guys can see here, like, Fist of Fate, everything here basically got an update. There's like so much information. I'll probably make a follow-up. Looks like they updated and buffed the resistances on all the existing amulets as well. Because keep in mind, we're getting 100% res penalty here. And yeah, you see here, like, all the new Mythic helms here. All the stuff for the Spiritborn is in there as well. Planners are being updated right now. They should be ready soon. And there's just so much stuff here. What we also got is basically complete new skill trees and also more balance changes. For example, here on the Barb, the Call of the Ancients got a nerf. But the Charge, for example, got a big buff to 100% lucky hit. Frenzy got a giga buff here, and it also has a chance to deal double damage now. So maybe we can finally make a Frenzy build on the PTR. We don't know, but there's basically the data mine here for all the classes. Again, I'm going to link that below in the description. You can see the old stuff, you can see the new stuff. We know the lucky hits, we know the skill tree locations. And one thing in particular that I want to talk about here is there's still some bugs here with some of the planets, but Maxroll here also got this Mythic unique. And I played around with the builder a bit, and it looks like it's going to give you plus 27 ranks to all skills. This is like the only Mythic uniques that the Spiritborn seem to have, like, specifically to Spiritborn, because only Spiritborn can wear glaives. And not only does it give 27 to all skills, which is completely wild, it also gives 11 to Apex and 11 to Diminishment. And if you're looking at the skill tree here, and you are skilling those nodes, Apex gives you 3% X to, let me actually put a couple points here so I can turn this off. So it gives you 3% to vulnerable targets and double this bonus to elites. And you are getting 11 ranks here, not even masterworked. So you are getting 11 times 6, 66% damage to elites. And you're also getting plus 11 to Apex. Plus 11 to diminishment, which will basically allow you to make an immortal character once more, because you have 5% damage reduction from vulnerable enemies. And you can get plus 1 rank from the Shroud of the Falls, that's 1 rank. You can get, if you masterwork this, plus 11 diminishment, So you are getting 16 ranks, that's 17. And then plus the base 3 ranks. And now you're having 20 ranks. And it gives you 5% damage reduction per rank. So 20 times 5, 100% damage reduction. This is similar to what the Barbarian was doing, and that has gotten nerfed with the aggressive resistance, where you can basically reach 100% damage reduction. And these passives always behave additively. And yeah, who knows if the Spiritborn build, if all this data is correct, we're gonna have an immortal Spiritborn build with 100% damage reduction, as long as the enemies are vulnerable. But yeah, also the crazy stuff is these new skill ranks basically affect your ultimates. And I did a bit of math here. So we have this 27 to all ranks. We are getting 4 skill ranks from Shaco, 3 skill ranks from the new Vex rune, and 5 base. That puts us at a total of 39 skill ranks. And it's bugged right here on the planner, but we will basically have like 39 skill ranks on these ultimates, like on your Centipede, on your Protector or whatever, and it's gonna be completely wild. Like, who knows how much damage it's gonna do or how it's gonna scale there with the damage or with the cooldown. But people were saying that the Spiritborn looked weak because it only has 1 weapon. But I mean, if the weapon looks like this. If it looks like this, man, and not only, guys, not only does it give you 27 to all ranks and this 66% damage, 66% elite damage and this like 60% damage reduction, it also gives 400 crit and read the secondary. Every 5 seconds an enemy is marked for the next 10 hits. Marked enemies are 1, vulnerable, you always guarantee to crit and you always guarantee to overpower. Like, this weapon does everything. Plus 27 to all skill ranks, multiplicative damage, damage reduction, makes everything vulnerable, makes all your attacks crit, and makes all your attacks overpower. I mean, if this is a real item, which it looks like because it's right now in the data mine of this PTR client, it is fucking crazy, man. Like, holy macaroni. This is like the best item and then some, you know, like, it's so crazy. And then we also finally know, I talked about it in the intro a little bit, we finally know how the skill trees look like. So you guys can see this, I just have this example of the Barbarian here. You can see that the skill tree, and this is very cool for the Barbarian, and that the skill tree has a lot of more connections now here. And it also has more nodes, especially in the core section. So a very common problem on like a leap Barbarian, for example, was that you always had to take like 5 ranks into a score skill, which you didn't even need just to unlock the next section. But now they moved Tempered Fury into the core section, and they also added the War path here, which gives you multiplicative damage. And this is the case for most classes. And they also got connections here, so you don't have to skill Pressure Point if you don't want. You can just skill Hammer with Overpower and then skill into the Overpower and then move on to the next one. And this is basically a reoccurring theme through the entire skill trees. And we also have this new weapon throw masteries, and the mighty throw is obviously here in the weapon mastery section, where we also have like these new multipliers here, where the weapon mastery fortifies you. And then also like here just a bunch of cool connections, like you don't have to skill Slaying Strike to get exposed vulnerability, etc. pp. And you also have the new ultimates here in the planner. And you can also add like the ranks to the Wrath the Berserk. And the same is the case here for the Sorcerer. And then we're going to talk about Paragon. You see here the Sorcerer skill tree also has been reworked. And it has just been made easier to access certain nodes. Like for example here you can instantly access Snap Freeze. And there's also the new familiar skills here. Plus the new ultimate. And just various changes. And all the class trees are being updated right now in all the planners. And it looks fantastic. Like, it looks really cool, having like all these options now as key passives. Like Sorcerer has so many of them, and yeah, just really cool to have like some other pathing ways here. That feels just really good, not having to skill some of the useless ones here. For example, Hamstring was a grief point on Barb, but now you can just skill Rupture, and then from Rupture you can skill the multiplier Cut to the Bone. So very, very cool to see. And then on top of this, we have a lot of new Paragon information. So there's this new Paragon board here for all classes that's also in the planner here. And for example, on Barb, it's Force of Nature, but you can already see here that they reworked this thing entirely. Like, this is the new starter board, so you see it's like very different from what it used to look. And also, like, all the nodes are different. Like, normally, just to compare these two, like, they look like this in-game right now. So normally you have like some armor stuff and just some things you usually never take. But now they actually changed this a lot, and there's no armor here. There's actually like elite multiplicative damage, and then there's like you know, more elite damage. And we also have the martial glyphs here, and all the new glyphs that you can get to rank 100 now and see what crazy bonuses they give. For example, martial, the barbarian glyph, gives 520% bonus to all magic nodes within range. And you guys can see this, like how crazy this goes for like the elite damage, for example. And it also has an inherit, we don't know how much this is yet, increased damage by X%, and then also the normal effect of martial. And there are also new glyphs for every class. For barbarian, for example, it's the ambidextrous bloodfeeder, the challenger glyph right here. So we'll take this one real quick. Challenger glyph here, 600% bonus to normal nodes, elite damage multiplicative, and also similar to ambidextrous, it seems, multiplicative one-hand damage, and again then multiplying the nodes here, etc. And this seems also be the case on the sorcerer here. Paragon has also been completely updated, a fundamental release, and I think the new glyph I have down here, again the starter board here is also completely changed. And we have the Eliminator glyph here on the Sorc, for example. And you can check out all the other classes. There's so much information in this Datamine, where you deal 10x increased damage against elites, and then there's another elite multiplier plus the basic multipliers here to normal nodes. So this is probably going to multiply like the main stat nodes and stuff for even more main stat. And yeah, there's just been so many things. We also have the first information for the Spiritborn Paragon nodes. I'll also check those in a second, but you guys can see here, like all the buffs. They also buffed all the aspects. I think there's just in here. There's just so much information, you know, like all these new uniques. You can check out basically everything here. Like we already see like the new glaives and all the new looks, how it's going, how it's looking. Let me close these skill modifiers here. And then we will look at the generic aspects here, for example. So you can see here how they buffed like all generic aspects. As Cursed Touch has been buffed. Adaptability, this is the basic one. It's been buffed from 80 to double damage, literally just 100x multiplier. You can put this on the amulet for like 100, for like a 2.5x. Disobedience, aspect of the elements gets a buff to 35x. And yeah, you guys can like read this on your own. Like there is so much stuff. Literally, almost every single aspect has received a buff. So you look at Bolt's Chieftain even now, 3 seconds per enemy on the Barb side of things. And Starlight and Undying, everything here basically gets a buff. And this is the same case here if you look at the classes by itself. So here Ancestral Force here, the Hoda Quake, got another 225% damage buff. I think another crazy one here was Berserk Ripping, got a buff. And yeah, pretty much every aspect here has been impacted very positively. There's also something crazy that I've seen on the Sorcerer. So you know they are nerfing the, or they're capping the Conjuration Mastery to 30. But they just got an insane buff here on the Splintering Energy aspect. And this is the, if you play Sword, or if you've been watching any of my Sorcerer videos, the Splintering aspect is your main DPS. And they are basically buffing this from 83 to 135. So you're getting 135 divided by 83. You're getting a 62% damage buff on the Splintering Energy alone. And this is even more than the nerf to the Conjuration Mastery is. Especially for the average player, you won't even feel this. And I said this on the last nerf, and voila, people did higher clears. I'll show this to you real quick. There's like a leaderboards. And after the Sorc has been destroyed, it cleared higher tiers than Mekuna did before. So you see here, Rogue actually overtook the Sorc, and Sorcerer at the moment is sitting at 158, even after the nerf. So now there is another nerf coming where they kept the Conjuration Mastery. But to make up for it, they are actually buffing, it looks like, the Splintering Energy even more by a 60%. So Sorcerer is gonna be eating good. It's still insane. And for the average player that didn't even reach 30 conjuration stack, this is like a massive buff to the strongest build in the game. So Sorcerer is pretty good for the next patch. Very nice so far. We'll see on the PTR, guys. Obviously, we'll still have to test it. But actually, Sorcerer is also getting another passive here. If you have not seen it, it gets another, I don't even know where this one was. There's like a new cooldown passive called Evocation. Conjuration Mastery. You can see here, the Conjuration Mastery has been kept to 30 stacks. I'm not even sure where the Evocation is, but there is a new passive. Maybe someone can spot it. Here, Evocation. It basically gives you another 12% cooldown reduction just with 3 passive points. And keep in mind, this is not updated yet. You're gonna have 69 points to put in. So it's very easy here to get another 12% cooldown reduction for free. Maybe you can even get some more ranks, because this is additive cooldown. Every other point you can get, I mean, you can maybe make it 24 cooldown or something. That would be completely crazy. And then for the end, I wanted to talk and check some of the Spiritborn stuff, because we have basically seen the legendary nodes here for the Spiritborn. And some of these are insane. I hope the entire Spiritborn Paragons are gonna come here soon as well. But you can see here like some kind of power level. Here, this is a first one here. Again, a legendary node for the Spiritborn. You deal bonus damage equal to 20x of your 2 highest bonus damage types, up to a total of 1.3x. So if you're stacking like poison damage and physical damage or something, you're basically gonna get a 20% of those as a multiplier. That's pretty wild. And then here another one, after moving 10 meters, you deal 3% X damage for 10 seconds, can stack up to 10 times, another 1.3x. And this seems to be like a pretty common occurrence here. Almost every passive on the Spiritborn here. Here, 30x to crowd-controlled enemies. Then here another one, when you cast Gorilla, Jaguar or Eagle skills or Centipede 3 times, you restore 15% of your vigor and deal another 30x. 1.3x. And then here, another one here. When you use a cooldown skill, you gain 20% Sworns. And, I mean, like here, another one. This is up to 33% X. Like, so basically, for every 1%, you gain 1% increased damage for each 3% of your max life that you have a barrier. So if you have 100%, you're gonna gain 33% X damage multiplier. So, it's gonna go crazy. The Spiritborn is looking incredible strong. And again, there's the aspect, there's all the uniques in this data mine here from Wowhead. And I mean, Spiritborn is looking good for next season, guys. I'm sure to log into the Spiritborn, and we'll probably, if we find and discover some more crazy stuff here, because I think we also have some glyphs. Let me check these for a second. Not rare nodes, we have the Spiritborn glyphs here as well. And new glyphs for all the classes. You can check out like all the Paragon glyphs here. So the Challenger was for the Barb. Here, Colossal, for example. Multiplicative damage for each stack of Revolve you have on the Spiritborn. This is like the damage reduction mechanic of the Spiritborn. And you can have plenty of Revolve stacks, getting another multiplicative damage and multiplier here to close enemies and adding additive damage to your Gorilla skills. Then we have Consumption here, 2% increased damage to active Pestilence Swarm. Touch of Death, another multiplier. It seems everything is multiplicative on the Spiritborn. This is very much reminding me of the Necromancer that we got in Diablo 3 at the start. Like basically everything was a multiplier, every weapon, and we played Necromancer meta for 10 years in Diablo 3. It was the new class. I get it, man. They want to sell. You know, they want to sell the new class. They want to sell the Vessel of Fate expansion. So they're making the new class insanely powerful. It was the same with the Necromancer. And we played Necromancer meta for 10 years. We'll see what the other classes, how the other classes are looking here compared to the Spiritborn. But like, just looking at this, man, oh man, we're gonna have a lot of fun with the Spiritborn, guys. The class feels amazing. And here another multiplier for your Centipede skills. Okay, this is like fitness. This is another crit damage multiplier. This is like the Wrath glyph. Fitness of the Spiritborn, giving you vigor on hit. And yeah, I mean, like there's just Headhunter here, X damage to elites. Here another like crit damage with your Jaguar skills up to 1.1x plus crit damage multiplier. Here, double thorns damage equals to your dodge bonus, plus another multiplier to vulnerable targets. And then casting incarnate skills, also another 15% damage reduction, plus a generic increased damage by X%. We don't know the full value. Yeah, we'll probably be cooking on the Spiritborns once all the planners are updated. And then we can like add these glyphs in, but it's certainly looking good here. I haven't even seen this one here, like another damage X for 10 seconds once per spirit. So if you manage to hit with all 4 spirits, you're gonna get 4 times 4, 16x from this glyph, plus another X multiplier to incarnate skills. Like, damn, dude. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good here. So yeah, Spiritborn looks amazing, and again, big shout out here to all the data mines that have been done. We have seen so much stuff, and just so many crazy things here. I'm really looking forward to try all the stuff on the PTR. I think it opens up a lot of build possibilities with all these new skills. I can't wait. I think I'm mainly going to be focusing on Barb, and we're maybe also going to be testing some Sorcerer here with Familiar. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, we'll see what the future brings here. PTR starts on Wednesday. I'll have more overview videos coming. I'll see you soon, my friends. Hope you enjoyed. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.